Welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. And guys, we finally got back on schedule. And just remember, for all you guys that are, you've been following us. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern is our normal time for Buck What You Heard. We are working with Bucks Report. We will be live tomorrow, Thursday, on Bucks Report at 7 p.m. Eastern as well. So you get a double dose here. But I'm joined tonight by my co-host, the guy who's just back from vacation. You would never guess he's back from vacation, but he's back from vacation, all pumped up, refreshed, and ready to talk about Bucks. KB, what's happening, man?
Not much, man. I'm rocking my Cadillac jersey because I feel good today, boys.
Yeah, Pontiac Williams, baby, all day. So, I know everybody's kind of getting over the Chicago Bears effect or whatever the hell that was from Thursday Night Football. If you guys don't already know, I hate Thursday Night Football. Hate it. Before I jump into everything, please, if you get a chance, hit that subscribe button. Always hit the subscribe button. If this is new, you don't have to schedule to listen to us, but just hit that subscribe button. This will give us opportunity to do a whole lot more with Buck What You Heard. Skull Gang in the house. What's going on?
There it is.
And throughout, and when we get to the back end of the show, we're going to get callers on, and we will be actually getting your thoughts and getting your ideas. And, it's going to be an interesting game against the Green Bay Packers. But let's talk about the Thursday night game, a game in which I hate Thursday nights because I feel like it takes away from Sunday night and Monday night football. There's too much football on the air.
And Tuesday night football. Don't forget about that one.
Oh, yeah. With COVID-19, we do have Tuesday night football, which doesn't make any sense.
And no Thursday night football this week. Isn't that even just weird?
Huh? Wait a minute.
Yeah, the Thursday game got moved to Sunday.
So Thursday's a Sunday, Sunday's a Tuesday, Monday's to Monday, and okay, I'm confused. Okay, I need a drink. But anyway, we'll get back to that. So so much to unpackage here when we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their game against the Chicago Bears. This is a game I felt like Tampa should there was a winnable game. Okay, I don't know how you feel about it, but when I look at what the Buccaneers did, I felt like, the three game winning streak, I felt like that was a good opportunity for the Bucs to really do something, as a team and put themselves in a position, moving forward throughout the season. Unfortunately, there were some issues with execution. There were some issues with just discipline in general. Some of the penalties just annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I mean, everyone could have written this game off as a trap game. A lot of people thought the Broncos game the second week of the season would be a trap game, but with all their injuries, we were able to handle our business. But Thursday night football on the road, no matter who you are, is tough. But as a fan, it's just hard to see this team, shoot themselves in the foot so many times. I think 6 times in a row on one drive, especially. And just seeing things like that just make it just that much more frustrating.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, when you think about this, the Bucs are 2-7 since Thursday night football reared his ugly head. The Bucs are 2-7. Can you tell me the two teams that the Tampa Bay Bucs defeated in that span of time? So let's say span of time there.
I know the Panthers last year.
Okay, that's one.
Vernon Hargrave's tackle.
That's one. Okay.
I want to say the Vikings from
That's
6 years ago.
You got it. Minnesota Vikings, 2012. That was the other game.
8. Oh my God,
It's been that long.
Oh my goodness.
So I guess when I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I probably will never watch another Thursday night Bucs game ever again. I'm a huge fan, but just it has never been good. And I think I probably should have stopped when Atlanta hung 50 on us.
Oh gosh, I don't even. I remember that specific time. I was in my dorm room or dorm like corridor thing. Like they had like a little basement, and there was like 40 people down there. They were like all hype, and I was the only Bucks fan there, so I was like going crazy.
I
And
was
then by
curled up. I
halftime,
was
I
curled
was
up in a
crying.
fetal position, crying. Just FYI.
Exactly. That was just like the most embarrassing thing ever. Like I literally got shit on for like 3 weeks.
When they say it's a Bucks life, that's what it is. Frank G, what's going on, man?
Frank G.
But when you look at this game, this was a winnable game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a game they probably they should have won by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I know I'll probably get backlash for saying this, but coaching played a huge part in this.
Me too.
Coaching played a huge part in this. We're living in a time where your offense is your strength. I don't care how good your defense is. Your offense is your strength. You're 4th and 1. You're going for it. 4th and fucking 1. You're going for it. Okay. You're not going to sit back here and kick a field goal and take 3. Fuck that. You're down here. Number 1. And I'm going to start at the beginning here. When Tampa was on their side of the field, they went for it on 4th down.
On the 19-yard line.
Help me understand that. But you've got your opponent deep in their own end zone, and you can't go for it. You cannot go for it. Listen, this game right here is just a microcosm of what's been going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would say, since Raheem Morris. It just is. And yeah, I'll get to the DP Bucks 32. What's going on? I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But what bothers me the most when I talk about no risk it, no biscuit, I'm going for it on 4th down. You're 4th and 1. You're 4th and 1. Quarterback sneak. Ronald Jones is running good. I mean, and props to Ronald Jones, who ended up over 100 yards again. He's my guy, and I'm still the president of the fan club. So to me, when I look at this team top to bottom, this is a squad, especially offensively, they should be able to move the ball. They should be able to move the chains, especially with a 4th and short. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we were on the Evan Winters podcast after the game, and I was the one who kind of just said, what was wrong with taking the 3? But I've since gone off that stance. And when you think about it, Gene, do you remember the first touchdown the Bucs scored this season? What happened? Tom Brady from like the 2.5-yard line, QB sneaking it in. Now this was maybe a 1.5 yard, 4th down, and it was a 2-point game. You're right there. Why be up by 1 point? Why give the other team the opportunity?
Exactly.
And that's when and BA is this whole no risk it, no biscuit. But since he's been a Buck coach, I honestly think he's gone away from that more than he's even let on.
Yep. That's like Dirk Cutter.
Call aside, there's so many times where he's, punting on 4th and inches from like the 50-yard line. Like, and all of these kinds of, and even on our plus side on the 45, he's still punting. And that was with Matt Gay, and that was with, we have a great leg kicker, all of that stuff. It's just, I don't know, that just left a bad taste in my mouth. The more I just thought about it. And, I really wish we would have gone for it. Even if we didn't get it, I still think at the end of the day, I would have been more satisfied.
It's like a punt deep in the opposing team's end zone. It's just
and
like
what
a
usually
punt.
happens, they fair catch it at the 20 anyway.
Right. And think about this. If you've got somebody beyond the 20 and you've got them pinned in their own end zone.
7-yard line.
7-yard line. Think about this. You don't get it. 4th and 1. You still win the field position battle because you're at least going to end up real close to the 50 or somewhere in there, unless you got some guy with a monster leg that's really putting it out there. But when I think about that, when I look at this whole situation, I think the mindset for NFL coaches needs to change. If you have opportunity and you're deep, you've driven all the way down here. I don't want 3. I don't, because you can't guarantee you're going to get 3.
Yeah. And then with analytics, like, it just makes too much sense. And then there's so many ways to score points and move the ball down the field in the modern NFL. 20 years ago, you make that decision, you kick it. But
right.
2020, I just don't think you do it.
You have so much, and there's so much creativity. We've seen that. Sean Payton, my love-hate relationship with that jackass. Right,
I think
there,
it's just a hate on my end. Hate.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with that clown. But this guy is not scared to do what he needs to do to win the game. If he's going to put his boot on your throat, that's what he's going to do. That's what coaches should be doing right now. I mean, we're talking about the playoffs here. Each one of these games counts. Each one of these games is important. Like Frank G said, Frank G was pissed off this whole weekend just thinking about that. And I understand that a coach has a responsibility to try to win as best they can. But at the end of the day, when you look at this whole situation, the Bucs could have really came away with a lot more than what they did, you know?
Exactly. And then when you see other teams, I guess just be more creative. Like 3rd and game, Sean Payton's doing a double pass. The one time we ran a flea flicker this year, it worked. Like we have no creativity in our offense, at least, and defensively. I'll give Todd Bowles a pass, but I do not like the amount of off coverage zone we played, especially in the second half and to end the first half in general in pretty much every game. But
and I'm glad you brought that up. To your point, the Buccaneers over the past 3 weeks, and they've been very fortunate not to be in a bigger hole than what they are, but they've been playing not to lose. They haven't been playing to win. They haven't gone out there to be aggressive. They haven't gone out there to say, hey, we're going to punch you in your damn mouth and you're going to like it. They've gone the polar opposite. They've been doing everything they can not to lose, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And that just goes down to what we've been talking about, just situational play calling.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I mean, you can look at that game with the Saints. And
get fucked.
That's what and just honestly, man, I hate the Saints, but I tell you what, they went out there, they got aggressive, and they just were methodical about going down the field and taking care of business. I hate the Saints. I hate Sean Payton, that smug wafer lip mother. I hate that guy. But you know what? Hey, he said, "Hey, we're gonna win this game. We ain't walking out here with no L."
Hey, he's winning with a noodle on quarterback right now. So
100%. And I wouldn't even call. And you'll know me. I've not gone on record saying that Drew Brees is a noodle arm quarterback. I mean, he's making plays when he needs to make plays, and that's what it all counts to. It's about wins and losses. I don't care who can throw the ball further down the field. I want you to throw the ball where somebody can move the ball, move the chains, and keep your offense on the field. That's what's important right there. I don't care if he can throw 50 yards. He could throw 2 yards. But I promise you, they're going to continue to move the ball just like they did against the Chargers and continue to make plays. And that's where it counts. That's like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going to stay on this subject about the Chicago Bears. They were 16 seconds. They had a series, 16 fucking seconds on the field, and then they kicked it back. You got the fucking lead, and you hold the ball for 16 seconds. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel, but on that drive, I'm assuming the one where we ran on first down, they called timeout, and we threw twice for incompletions. And my mentality on that one was, why not just throw it on first down and then run twice?
They will not throw it on first down. Every so often they'll sprinkle it in there. They will not consistently throw on first down. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a Byron Leftwich thing, like if that's
and I'm sorry, but
he's a Brady thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, and I keep seeing his name floated around for the head coaching position in Houston, but I just don't see it.
Why would someone? What have you seen? And I want Byron to succeed. Are you kidding me? I
Yeah,
want him
he's the
to get
offensive
ahead,
coordinator
be
for
a
the
head
Tampa
coach.
Bay Buccaneers, of course.
Yeah, like I want him to succeed just in general because I think we need more African American head coaches and coordinators in general. I want him to
Right.
succeed, but he hasn't shown me what, like, for example, if you take Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich, granted one's more seasoned than the other, and what they've done in the past year and a quarter, how much learning went on that defense with all those young players. And then you look at the offense with all of these seasoned, talented veterans and one is outperforming the other by a ridiculous margin is just insane to me. That shows how great of a coach Todd Bowles is. And I can't even call Byron Leftwich a great coach. I for sure can't call him a great coordinator.
No, absolutely not. I mean, and what we can do, because he has a body of work now. I mean, when you look at what he did in Arizona, you look at Arizona to Tampa and what he's done last year and compared to this year, I just have not seen enough from him to say, this is the dude this is a guy that could go out here and lead a team to the playoffs and they can win and go deep into the playoffs. I cannot say that. I cannot 100% confidence. I cannot say that Byron Leftwich is a guy that can go into a team, a Houston Texans team, a New York Jets team, an Atlanta Falcons team, and go in there, get everything worked out, and lead this team to the playoffs. I cannot say that I've seen enough of him to say that he can do that.
You know who I do want to see, though? I want to see if Brian
Eric Bieniemy.
Well, Eric Bieniemy, but just within our staff, I forgot his first name, Goodwin, our offensive line coach, who has always been like, never got that opportunity. I want to see how he's the run game coordinator right now. What if he's more creative in the passing game? Like, yeah, 100%. I think BA needs to sit back and just, observe kind of what's going on right now and really make some changes, at least offensively. We've started seeing a little bit of a tweak to more of a Tom Brady-esque scheme. But I
think Tom Brady's making more of the – if you look – and I want you to take a step back and look at the team as a whole. There are 4 games. You have the 4-game sample size, and you compare that to what you saw last year. Is this Tom Brady calling the plays now and more, this is what he sees and this is what he's comfortable with? Or is this Byron Leftwich? There are plays where Byron Leftwich, and this is Byron Leftwich calling his play. But then there are other plays where Tom Brady is audibling out of whatever he's seeing and he's doing a little bit more. Is this what you're seeing, or maybe I'm seeing things?
No, see, with me, I guess, when we've had the most success that we've had as an offense, it's been in the first quarter, which is typically your first 3 drives are typically scripted.
Right.
And we already know from BA's book that he loves quarterbacks being heavily involved in the scripting process and the play process. But, second to fourth quarters where Byron Leftwich is supposedly at the helm and he's making all these decisions. But I also see Tom Brady – maybe not audibly, but he's checking. So, they have a play call called, you have a secondary call, and you can check down to it. It's typically a run, and I've kind of seen that. But what bothers me, though, is I've seen check the runs in 8 and 9 man boxes. And for Brady, that really
there's a mismatch. And what you're saying right there's a fucking mismatch somewhere on the field. If you have that kind of that play right there, you're seeing 8, 9 men in the box, there's a mismatch somewhere. And that's what you need to be exploiting. And that's what we're not seeing, is taking advantage of mismatches. Real Bucs talk. Those guys talk about it all the time. Take advantage of mismatches. And we're not seeing it.
And we have so many mismatches. It's insane. Granted, OJ Howard's gone, but you still have Cameron Brate, which against a linebacker or safety to me is advantage Bucs. You have Gronk, who's maybe even at this point. But you still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, please come back. You have Scotty Miller, who's emerged and is our leading receiver. I'm sorry, I could have never predicted that. Shout out to Dave Gasker, who's been the Scotty Miller hype train this entire
Yeah, he sure is. He's part of this. He's the president of the Scotty Miller fan club. Shout out to Stank, my guy. What's up? again, this has just been that kind of season. This is 2020. I mean, I can't say anything else about it. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they're going to get to the playoffs, they need to be taking advantage of these mismatches. And we're not seeing it. We're seeing somebody use the word lackluster. That is a perfect.
Bucs.
Yeah, DP Bugs 32 said lackluster. That is a perfect word right there when you talk about what this offense is doing. They could do so much more. They could just you could give a defensive coordinator nightmares just with the level of talent that the Bucs have right now. And again, we've been talking about that offensive line. I think you can scheme around that. I think you can scheme away from the weaknesses on that offensive line and put yourself in a position to where you're in a good place. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's all you can really ask for is your team is just play to your strengths. And I feel like we're not. We're just doing the same, dummy down runs where Chris Godwin or Scotty Miller comes in motion behind the tight end. How many times can I say that without you knowing it's a run? We maybe played action off of it once out of the past 20 times.
Yeah. And let's go back to that play. 16 seconds. You possess the ball 16 seconds. In a drive, one drive, 16 seconds, you have the ball. That's it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Under 3 minutes.
And you have the fucking lead.
If you're going to kick it, be aggressive right there. Exactly. Like, if you're going to play safe and take the points and get the lead and you get the ball back, how are you not stepping on the gas pedal?
Exactly.
I'm punching
him in the throat. That's just what's going to happen. I just have a problem with this. You cannot. That's poor management. That's poor clock management. If you have the ball 16 seconds and you can't do anything, you have to kick it.
Yeah.
Bucs fans deserve more than this. They do. I mean, we've been sitting here as Bucs fans. We've been sitting here since 2014 watching this team being rebuilt. It was total rebuild. Watching this team rebuild. 2016, none of those players, one player is left from the 2016 draft. And just when you look at this team and you look at what they've done, you consider what they've considered to do, and you look at this team over and year in, year out, the underachievement, 2017, 2018, underachievement, 2 5-win seasons. And then you start seeing the emergence of the defense in 2019. But here we are. This is an opportunity that the offense, whoever the offensive coordinator is, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Byron Leftwich, whether it's Bruce Arians, they need to take advantage of this. And I understand guys are pissed off about the refs. Football is like boxing. In boxing, you want to take the fight out of the ref's hands or the judge's hands. You don't want those fuckers deciding who wins for you when you put forth all this effort. I'm feeling the same way about the team as a whole. You don't want the referees deciding this game. You want to go out there and make plays, take advantage of mismatches, and do what you need to do to win the game. Take the game out of the refs' hands. The refs shouldn't have anything to do with it. I understand they're making bullshit calls, but at the end of the day, there are more opportunities. There are more opportunities to make plays than what the refs are taking away. Okay? And that's what it all comes down to. So, like DP 32 is DP Bucks 32 talking about the Shaq Barrett, the 15-yard penalty. There were plays where if they had gotten pressure on the quarterback, if they had, put forth that effort to get pressure on the quarterback while you still had Vita Vea, I mean, they're putting themselves in a better position. Okay? So, yeah, I understand that the refs are horrible, and I'm going to go on record as being the main guy trumpeting that call. That
you're NFL fined, sir. You're fined.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Rogers probably going to suspend me, and I'll probably take my check next week, probably. But at the end of the day, the Bucs need to take advantage of these mismatches. They need to go out and execute and get these plays. Drive this team down the field. this offense should not be as vanilla and mediocre as they are. I understand the injuries, but at the end of the day, this offense should not be as mediocre as what we're seeing. Period. End of story.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm the two penalties on Shaq, I will obviously argue to the end of time. But with everything that went wrong in terms of penalties, you still have the ball winning with under 3 minutes. And you stop them twice. And then finally, the third time, they, you know, got points, got the game-winning field goal.
But again, and I think the key series was that 16 seconds. You didn't do anything with it. Nothing.
Yep, exactly.
You were playing in your mind. You're playing not to lose. You're not playing to win. You're not playing to go down and punch this team in the mouth. You're not playing to test this defense to see what they can do. You're playing not to turn the ball over, not to put this team in a bad position. You're playing to get in a position where you can punt the ball and hope that your defense can stop them. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, 100%. I can't say anything more on that.
So, and I'm looking at this right here. I agree, Gene. And I'm going to put this up here. The back-to-back penalties on the O-line killed us. And again,
back to back penalties.
Guys,
let's get that right.
Think about this. I want you guys to think about this here. I remember when the Seattle Seahawks and I need to check this, but I think it was the Seattle Seahawks had the most penalties in the NFL, and they won the Super Bowl. Yeah. I believe that the New England Patriots one year were number 3 in penalties, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. It's not what the penalties are, it's where the penalties are occurring and what it's doing to the drive and the momentum of the drive. That's what it comes down to. I don't care about penalties. That Ryan Jensen penalty, I don't care. He went out and did what he had to do. But at the end of the day, if 4th down and you're kicking the ball off, you have to rethink life. You have to rethink life. If what your actions have caused this team to have to kick the ball off and send it back to the other team, that's a problem. It's a huge problem. So ultimately, I'm not tripping about the penalties. I don't care about the penalties, to be very honest. But if the penalties are at certain times, because there are back-breaking penalties where you've got a good drive going. I don't know how many times we've talked about Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones gets a monster run, and it gets called back because of penalties. Cameron Brate makes a good play, gets called back because of penalties. These are the times where you're like, man, if we had been playing discipline at this particular juncture, we would be so much further ahead. And it's a drive killing, it's a momentum killing type of thing that you're continuing to see.
Yeah, man, just going off of that, you know, the Bucs had the ball inside the 50-yard line. I think it was the 45, 46-yard line. 1st and 10. Next thing you know, it's 1st and 30.
Exactly. That's unacceptable. That is unfucking acceptable right there.
And if I wasn't, if that happened to any of the offensive lines that I had been a part of in high school or college, I guarantee you, we would all be doing so much conditioning that we'd be throwing up.
Exactly.
Because that's just how the punishment would be. Because you just can't allow that to happen, and you can't let that just like be okay. And I'm sure they're going to get yelled at, but also at the end of the day, they're professionals. They have to move on. They get paid. Like, it's a different mentality.
100%. Lane Johnston, what's going on? David Villanueva, he said, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Rodgers is going to light up the secondary. I'm going to disagree with you here. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like these guys are going to step up. I feel like these guys are going to step up and play like they've been here before. When I look at this defense as a whole, I see a lot of good players. I see a lot of good pieces. And I realized Vita Vea, who was my heart and soul, and we could go back to the draft when we celebrated, myself and Michael Pless from Real Bucs Talk celebrated having a Vita Vea, a space eater, a guy who shut down the run, come in and do what he did. And now you don't have that anymore. It's just gone.
And he's supplied so much pressure for this defense. He's constantly beating double teams, and when he's on one person, he is pushing the guy back 4 or 5 yards into the backfield. It's ridiculous. He was the number 1 rated defensive tackle by Pro Football Focus, at least in the nose tackle position.
Right.
And his presence is going to be sorely missed in the run game, which we're tops in the league again. So that might come down a little bit, but I think for the most part, this team's going to stop.
I'm very comfortable with Will Golston. I'm comfortable with Nacho. I think those guys are going to come in and show up. That's my hot take right there, is that Nacho and Will Golston, you will see more of those guys. They will come out there and do what they need to do.
Now, I have to say one thing, though. If Devontae Adams is healthy, that back shoulder fade is unstoppable. Carlton Davis will probably get a couple PI calls. Like, it is what it is. You're just going to have to accept it. Aaron Rodgers is going to put up points. Whether that be 20 or 30 or 40, he's going to put up something more than 15, 16, what like this Bears team really did if you take away the Keyshawn Vaughn.
Let me ask you this. As a former offensive lineman, and you look at who you're facing against on defense, is there a way to scheme for a specific player? Is there a way to?
Yes. Think of what every team does to Aaron Donald. There's sometimes he's triple teamed. There's ways to do it. You can do a full slide. You can have tight end protection. You can chip, running back chip. But I don't think as an offense we do that well. We've seen Scotty Miller basically run into Donovan Smith for a sack. I've seen O.J. Howard chip someone right into the inside lane for a sack. Granted, all these are against Donovan Smith, but
So I have to ask you then, with the Devontae Adams, if you're the defensive coordinator, how do you scheme against a Devontae Adams in your mind?
You have to bracket him. You have to have Carlton Davis or Jamel Dean or Sean Murphy-Bunting, whoever's healthy and going to play. Because I noticed that Carlton Davis didn't practice today with an ab.
Understood.
But if let's say Carlton Davis is healthy, you put him on there, and then you put Antoine Winfield Jr. right behind him. You have a deep zone on that side of the field just to protect them. That's just what it is.
Understood. So there are certain players, there are star players that you can actually scheme against. You can actually create a scheme just for them to take them out of the game and make your opposing quarterback do what he needs to do to beat your team outside of using those guys.
I want to share this one thing. If any of you all want to watch the Patriots-Raiders game, watch how Patriots-Chiefs game, watch how Bill Belichick schemed to basically have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce double team the entire game. And yet the Patriots with, in my opinion, the third string quarterback actually held in the game with the Chiefs at home. I don't know. You can be creative with this, and I think Todd Bowles has that in him, and I just want to see it personally.
Yeah. And that's like David Villanueva is saying, the run defense will be fine. It's the secondary that will have to cover long. I do not expect to see a lot of defensive line pressure without Vita Vea. I do not expect to see it. And this is one of those things, and this is why I'm asking you, how do you cover that? How do you go in and fix it to where you're at the advantage? How do you scheme this to where you have the advantage?
You have to be able to rush 4, which is something we haven't been able to do consistently.
100%.
And JPP is going to be going against one of the top offensive tackles in the league, and David Bakhtiari. And he said he's up for the challenge. But one thing I'm questioning is, why is JPP only rushing from the right side and Shaq Barrett from the left? Shaq had all of his success on the right side, and JPP, to me, on the left side, the strong side, is better against the run. I think there's just something that's just going on there, but we have to be able to rush from 4 if we want to have all of this coverage ability, which if we give Aaron Rodgers time and ability to run around the pocket, we're screwed. And Devin White in his press conference yesterday said, "Release me, Tom Bowles, unleash me." And that's what we probably are going to need. We're going to have Levante David and Devin White blitzing a bunch because that's just what Todd Bowles does.
Yeah. And you've just got so many people that are emerging on that offensive line for the Green Bay Packers. I don't want to get ahead of myself because we're going to talk about this. Guys, please, if you get a chance, if this is your first time checking us out, hit that subscribe button. Let us know that you like what we're doing. I appreciate that. That's always going to be appreciated. Hit that like button. Let us know what's going on here. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I've never been this optimistic about a Bucs team. I would say within the last decade, I haven't been this optimistic about a team, even with the catastrophic loss of Vita Vea, personally.
I've never been this excited for a team because the last time the Bucs were really good and relevant, I was 8 years old.
You were playing G.I. Joes, bro.
That's the truth. After about 2004, I mean, this franchise has just been. I mean, John Gruden kept it teetering, I guess, to 2008.
Yeah,
and then that was it. I mean, it just is what it is, and I just wish that we had better as a fan base.
You know what? It's going to come. I think winning covers a multitude of sins. I want to say
exactly.
That. And the Bucs. And, you know, I say this, and this is why I enjoy having fans on. I enjoy having fans calling in. There's no wrong way to be a Bucs fan right now because this organization has not given you too much to really root for. I mean, over the past decade, a little bit over a decade, the Bucs organization has not given you a lot to root for. But at the end of the day, where we are right now, you're looking at a team that I feel like will get you to the playoffs.
I think it's still a playoff team. I mean, the Panthers to me aren't for real. So this team's going to be in the wild card.
But what I will say about the Panthers, and I said this I went on the shout out to the Carolina Cat Chronicles. I actually went on the show, and I was the only person that said this is not a bad team. Everybody's like, oh, we're going to lose every single game of the season. No, you got Teddy Bridgewater. The guy is efficient. The guy does what he does. And you guys should be happy that you have him.
Yeah, and in the NFL, every game comes down to a one-score game, and you're going to have those for half to three-quarters of your season. It's whether or not you win them. So that comes down to good coaching and good quarterback play, which is why quarterbacks get paid so much.
100%. Raphael E, how can we call in? You know what?
This is a
perfect segue right here, brother. Perfect segue. I'm actually getting everything set up right here, right now, so I can take some of your calls because, again, this is a fan show. Buck What You Heard is a fan show. I don't care if you agree with me, you disagree with me, think I'm a bum, whatever. I want to hear from you guys because that's what's missing in sports talk radio, sports talk television, sports talk media is you guys getting the opportunity to say what you want to say. It's missing. It's been missing, and I'm trying to fill that void right now. So what I'm going to do is actually, okay, here we go. So let me put that number up here, Raphael, 813. Actually, hold on. Let me do this because I have a poor memory, probably from drinking beer. 813-358-8154. I want to hear from you guys. I am dying to hear from you. This will be great to see what you guys have to say. So, again, we're talking about the Tampa Bay Bucs versus the Chicago Bears, and we're talking a little bit about what the Bucs are going to possibly do versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers, the NFC North division.
I have a weird statistic I want to share with you, Gene.
Is it better than the 2-7 record that the Bucs have?
It's a lower percentage.
Okay, let's hear it. This is going to be great.
0-2 with Troy Aikman and Joe Buck calling Hall of Fame.
Sweet
Joe
Jesus.
Buck calling their games. And guess who's calling it on Sunday at 4:00?
Joe Buck and that jackass, Joe Buck, the jackass. And I don't mind Troy Aikman. I don't mind him. I wish they would offload Joe Buck. I hate that dude.
You know what's worse than Joe Buck calling football?
Chris Collinsworth?
No, Joe Buck calling baseball.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Hold on one second here. Let's see. You know what? I don't have my. Please forgive me. This is bad.
It's okay. We live. Things happen.
Hey, this is the beauty of this is
Nothing's
like
perfect.
Yep. And this is the beauty of going live right now is just let's see who we got. All right. This is Buck What You Heard. Who are we on with?
Oh, it's your boy Smitty, man. Roll Tide. I don't think Saban has COVID. Get well soon, coach. The defensive coordinator should have gotten it the way we looked last week on defense. But anyway, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, not too much, man. Hey, I want to get your thoughts on this. Let's start at the beginning. I want to get your thoughts on this Bears game. And then we're going to talk about the because we're in the NFC North division right now. I want to talk about the Green Bay game. So let me get your thoughts right quick.
You remember what I said last week that coaching was going to be the problem because I didn't believe this offensive coaching staff is any good. Byron Leftwich's nickname should be QB Killer because he had Rosen tanked him, Tank Winston, now he's tanking Brady.
Did you say QB Killer?
Yeah.
You took the wait a minute. So you're using the Warren Sapp. So you saying this is the QB Killer, the real QB Killer?
Wow. I mean, he's not wrong.
He killed the Warren Sapp. Everybody's got to work under him, but he doesn't take. Yeah.
I was just saying, think of how many
offensive coordinators
want Brady.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and all reason he doesn't take any heat left is because people like him in the media. If you like people, you go a long way. But I hear remember, I think I told you on the phone one time we talked, was that, and don't get mad at me, people out there listening. I'm going big picture here. I told you this on the phone months ago. When it wasn't the fact when they let Winston go for Brady, it's what Arians was saying in the interviews, like, hey, the culture, and all blaming everything on the interceptions and all that. But you still let the league in penalties last year, you lead them this year. And I remember I told you, when you do that and you say all that, now the media's finally going to watch Bucs games. They're like, okay, what the hell's going on here? You got this guy in, you tell him the same issues.
Right.
Because I remember everybody saying that this guy was fun and loose. And I remember something Nick Saban said years ago. It kind of ties into Arians' personality. Nick Saban has always said he doesn't have a drink with his wife that we got to dinner because someone take a picture of it, and when you win it, it's all good. But when you lose, he coaches the drunk. Yeah. Now Arians is around the loose ship. They can't keep order. Now when everybody liking him, oh, he's loose, he's having fun. It's just how things turn their head when people start looking at you now. That was my big concern. It's like, hey, I figured the players would do fine, but Arians and Leftwich now, because guess what? The spotlight's on you now. That's right. And you said this was the issue. Now it's the spotlight's on you now, and they ain't shown it yet, man. Because the team's got worse, in my opinion, offensively.
Well, I'm going to ask you this question, T. Smitty, because Ken F., my guy, who's longtime listener, is saying, what can we do about Donovan Smith? Have Gronk block with him every down? He's a liability. I'm going to say this. Donovan Smith is a liability. He just is. And,
5 years.
And he's been for the past, I don't know how many, 5 years maybe? Is that what we're looking at?
Yep.
He is not markedly improved from where he started out at. And
I think he was better as a rookie.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And again, guys, you cannot get mad at the Buccaneers organization for picking up his contract. There was nobody else available. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
And only 2 years of guaranteed money.
Only 2 years.
They put that out.
Yep, he's gone. He's out of gas. I'm telling you right now, he is not coming back as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Donovan Smith, I'm going to say that. I'm going to continue to say that. I'm going to beat that drum. He is not coming back to Tampa as even as a beer seller, a beer vendor. He's not coming back to Tampa unless he's just coming here to just kind of hang out and, do whatever. But he's not coming back here as a player.
Yeah.
There's no way this is happening. But I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, and one thing, Gene, y'all talked about the pressure before. The problem with this blitzing scheme the Bucs have is they're not getting a whole lot if you think about it. And that leaves your secondary exposed big time. A bunch of young guys still right?
Is that an execution problem, or is that an actual scheme problem, in your opinion?
I think because why in the hell we got Shaq Barrett always in coverage a lot? Hey, the dude at 19
what the fuck is he doing in coverage anyway?
He and JPP should be wrestling all the time because, hey, you got linebackers that play coverage. How about that? Use them for coverage. Play coverage.
Yeah, Vita Vea's dropped into coverage.
Yeah.
So okay, and I want to ask this question just real quick, just calm before the storm here. When you're looking at this team, can you think of any logical reason that you're dropping these men in coverage? Just realistically, I mean, I see what you're saying. My man KB is saying it's angles. So for you, when you're looking at this game, I know you've gone back and watched this game before, since. When you're looking at these players and your guys that should be going forward, but we have them going back in coverage. Is this a winnable? I mean, can you win doing this?
Nope. Because nope.
Yeah, keep going, T. Smitty.
This is all you, T. Smitty.
Oh, I was saying no because the problem is that I think a lot of people got this coaching staff, and also those other coaching staff get paid to watch film too.
Yeah,
and they're gonna figure that out. They want you to put Shaq and JPP in coverage. You're doing them a favor. Because guess what? You got a linebacker blitzing up the middle. Guess what? That quarterback can see that. That is coming right up the middle. So he can get that ball out. And also, he got young corners. And if Murphy Bunting hits Achilles heel, he gets top. He's more of a slot guy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. You just got to put the kid where he excels. And so you got to make sure that the best you can. But I just think that you got to put your guys in position and what they do well. If they can rush the passer well, cool. That's what you're doing. It's not like you put Will Gold to say, hey, get me 12 sacks. So he's a run stopper. Make him stop the run. Make those defensive ends or outside linebackers in this game be pass rushers. They're not coverage guys.
Right. I see exactly what you're saying. So ultimately, when we look at this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, is there a problem with the scheme? Is there a problem when you look at the personnel that they have? Do you see a problem with them being able to actually shut down an offense? And let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I know that you watched the Green Bay Packers over the past couple of weeks, and we especially watched them against the hapless Atlanta Falcons. Do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the ability? Do they have the personnel to stop this Green Bay Packers team and keep themselves in a position to where they can win this game, in your opinion?
T. Smitty, before you hold that thought for 1 second. I want you to have a good night, man. I got to head out. I got to go head to an event that I have to go to. But I hope you all have a great night on this chat and the stream. And T. Smitty, get to it. Talk it up with Gene.
KB, my man, take it easy, man. I will talk to you tomorrow on Bucs Report.
Thank you all.
Yeah. Peace, Kenny. Yeah. Answer your question. I think if they blitz heavy, they're gonna get cooked. Because Rodgers is so elusive, he's smart, he makes great decisions, and he is so accurate that he can make those great throws. And I think that I think it is key for those linebackers to play in coverage, and those in the secondary to key on their assignments as well. And that defensive line got to get there with 4. I think that's what they have to do, because the Packers, and the one other thing that helped this defense out, and this offensive staff screwed up again. Rojo only had 17 carries. The secret to playing good defense in today's football, college and pro, is playing less defense. And Rojo was carrying the day. He could have kept that
and
defense
he was
off
moving
the field
forward.
More.
The thing is, when he was getting stopped, he was moving forward. Rojo should have ended up with 120, 130 yards realistically, especially when you look at what they did in the second half. My problem, and again, I'm wrong, and until somebody comes in and corrects me, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers cannot, when they stop in the second half and they're playing not to lose, they're not playing to win. They're not playing to win. Playing to win is not on the table. They're playing not to lose. That is when you lose games.
Yep. Belichick plays to win. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But damn it, they went for it. And I remember that Giants game last year. They played not to lose, and guess what? You lost. You know,
that's a sore subject for me, bro. That's a very sore subject for me.
And remember, like this last Sunday night game, the Vikings and the Seahawks. Vikings should have just kicked the field goal. Sometimes you got to make the right call. But they went aggressive and went for it, and the Seahawks went down the field, but he still could have stopped them anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think it'll be a good game, though.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, this is a game, again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in a position to where they can win this game. I wouldn't consider this an upset. I would consider this a game that the Buccaneers came out and executed and won like they need to win if they win this game. This game is a winnable game. I don't want to hear people, getting upset or freaking out or whatever. This is a game that the Bucs can win, and they need to go out and do what they need to do.
And you know what, Gene? And one thing I put in the chat where that hurts the Bears' loss is the Bears got the tiebreaker now. And if people look at these standings, the playoff race is going to be a tight race, even for that 7th spot.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right here. There will be enough game film on Nick Foles before the playoffs get warmed up to where people will be able to stop him. I promise you this.
They better, man, because I don't know what
this.
some of these backup quarterbacks in the Bucs, they keep on.
No. This is right here. It was a scheme situation, and it had a lot to do with coaching. I would put the onus on coaching when I look at all of this, and it should have been a better situation for the Bucs moving forward. And I'm going to stand by this, that they should have won this game. And I believe coaching played the biggest factor in it.
They should have won by 2 scores, in my opinion.
100%.
And I'm not. Because Nick Foles missed so many open throws. Yeah. And I'm not going to beat up Tristan Wirfs. The only thing I am going to beat him up on, I'm not going to beat him up. The only thing I am going to pick him on is what Khalil Mack hip toss you like you in WWE, man. You got to take the 15-yard flag right
bro.
there, bro.
I'm going to say this.
I got to take the flag there, bro.
Tristan Wirfs, it went up against a once-in-a-decade player. He didn't go up against some scrub that just got drafted. He didn't go up against some journeyman veteran that's been in the league and ain't really done nothing. He went up against a once-in-a-decade player. And I understand it happens. These things happen. And let's hope that he is fired up from this and he's able to go out and do what he needs to do.
Hey, G. You know what else? Donovan Smith also got worked by Khalil Mack. If you notice, Khalil Mack had to put a couple of moves on Wirfs to beat him.
Yeah.
Khalil and Donovan Smith was like a turnstile.
I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. If you get a chance to go back and watch that game, watch Donovan Smith. That fool is always standing up. He ain't in the dirt. He ain't. There's nothing he's doing as in that position that makes me think that, man, this guy could be a difference. He's not a difference maker. He's not. Mm-hmm. He is just not. And I have a problem. I have a huge problem with that. Donovan Smith is fuck being fat said Donovan Smith is horrible. He is horrible. He's a horrible player. I mean, O'Neal Cousins on that Bucs defensive line was my arch enemy. I wanted to launch that motherfucker into the sun. And for me,
get fucked.
I'm just telling you, I hated that dude. But I'm going to tell you right now, what I am seeing from Donovan Smith for what he's being paid, this guy was in the right place at the right time. Because honestly, there was nobody else that could come in and step in and do what he was doing. And what he's done right now, I am not good with this. I am not good with this at all. He needs to go. And I've said this, and I'm going to continue to take this hot pick right here. Donovan Smith will not be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer in 2021. There's no fucking way Donovan Smith is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer in 2021.
He can't be, man. He can't be. Because the draft, I know that's one kid out of Oregon, a Bucs had no chance of getting him. But there's other guys in the draft that you get
100%. You know what? I'm calling fucking labor ready. I'm going to labor ready. I'm going down on Nebraska to labor ready. Shit. I'm going to labor ready on Nebraska saying, hey, get me a motherfucking offensive line. Get me somebody out here that we can work with.
And you know what, Gene? And the problem is also Brady cannot bail him, doesn't have that ability to bail him out when he gets whipped. To get out of trouble.
100%. I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you. When Jameis Winston went to New Orleans, when they said, okay, we're moving on from Jameis Winston, you went away from athleticism. Jameis Winston bailed out Donovan Smith, I don't know how many times, with his legs. With his fucking legs. There were times where you had Jameis Winston dead to rights because this dumbass doesn't know how to block. And you know what? The play was a positive play. And don't take my word for it. Please go back and watch the film. Don't listen to me. Go back and watch the film. I don't know how many times Jameis Winston bailed out Donovan Smith. But you know what? You've got a quarterback now in Tom Brady who's more of a statue than Jameis Winston was. You give up athleticism with Tom Brady for what you had with Jameis Winston. And because of that, it's more, you're more exposed to what this guy's doing.
Yeah, and Brady has to get the ball out quick. We know that.
100%.
It doesn't matter how quick you get the ball out. If you're getting on your ass, go quicker than you get the ball out.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
And I don't know how many. I don't know how many times. And you could go back and watch the game film again. I'm not saying this for myself. I'm just saying because I want this team to succeed. I would love to have Donovan Smith being a successful offensive lineman. But when you look at this, and you look at this guy here, I don't know how many times I've seen him standing up. He's standing up and the guy's gone around him, or the guy's gone in front of him, or whatever it takes. The guy is moved from where Donovan Smith was, and there's nothing you can do. You're just kind of stuck.
You know what? And like, I use an example. I remember Ryan. I don't think Donovan Smith has the most pride in the world, because I think like what Ryan Jensen first got his first year, he wasn't that good, but he's been pretty damn good ever since.
I think Ryan Jensen, it just took a little bit more for him to get acclimated. And I look at everybody else along that offensive line, and they're playing as a cohesive unit. With the exception of who?
Donovan, I forgot Kappa was in the league.
This is the beauty of it right here. When you don't hear about an offensive lineman, that means that motherfucker's playing like he's supposed to. Tell me I'm wrong.
And you know what? And if I sat next to Tristan Wirfs, I pat him on the head and say, "Hey, Rook, that is like, hey, welcome to the NFL." But also, I'll tell him right now, there's a gap. You just saw the gap between Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa.
But
Joey Bosa's a Pro Bowl player, but that's a gap.
I'm going to tell you what, man. Again, Khalil Mack is a once-in-a-generation player.
It's okay.
And I went back and watched that, and I'm telling you what, Tristan Wirfs handled that dude. There were a few plays he got away from him. He got loose. But I'm going to tell you what, I am so happy to have Tristan Wirfs on this offensive line. I can't stress it enough, man. I cannot stress it enough.
See, he went down swinging. And that's all you can ask for, because someday he's going to get beat. The guy's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be top 10 in his position once everything's done with. But I'm talking about Khalil Mack. But Wirfs battled that man. And that's all you can ask for, because sometimes you're going to get beat. But at least the man had to work for it. He had to swim moves, spin moves to get one set. And I like it. I don't think Wirfs should move left tackle.
I don't want him
he's
to.
Great there.
I want him to stay where he's at. I want him to draft somebody else and put him in that natural position. I don't want you to have to move. Like when Dirk Cutter was the coach here, and they were doing all these fucking experiments. You know what? Ali Marpet should have stayed at right guard. Right guards are gold. Mm-hmm. Right guards are gold in the NFL. And if you don't have that, then that's what you need to work towards. But they moved him around from here. They moved him around to here. They moved him around to here. And finally, they stuck him where he's at. All I'm going to say.
Hey, he's better up.
He's balling, man. I'm going to tell you what. If it came right down to it, rubber hits the road, this is the guy, Ali Marpet, you can depend on. Again, that's just kind of where you're at. Hey, T. Smitty, I got to get some other callers on here, man, but I want you to tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. And I appreciate you calling in. I hope to hear from you tomorrow on Bucs Report.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Hey, I love, like you guys, more than a hot take media who only watch the Cowboys and the Browns and the Jets. I know, guys. But hey, y'all find the TSMITTY 3000 on Twitter. I made up a name, Bill Bixby. That's a story for different
Bill
days.
Bixby, that's right, the Incredible Hulk right here.
But yeah, now on Saturdays, y'all can't be cussing out Alabama defense on Saturday. But hey, get my Dodgers. But hey, you guys have a great day, and I love talking to all you guys.
I appreciate you, man. All y'all. As usual, longtime caller T. Smitty. Again, check us out, 813-358-8154. I'm going to take a couple more calls here before I jump off. Please, if you got a chance to call in, please call in. I would love to hear from you. Again, Buck What You Heard is a fan show. I want to hear from you guys. Whether you agree with what I'm saying or you don't agree with what I'm saying, I want to hear from you. I feel like, as Bucs fans, we need those kind of platforms for people like us. So, again, we are headed towards this game with the Green Bay Packers, and I do want to hear from you guys. Again, that phone number, 813-358-8154. That's what I'm talking about. But if I don't hear from somebody pretty soon, we're going to go ahead and jump off of here. Willie Graham. There are a lot of new names on here. I'm liking this. And guys, again, if you are a new listener to Buck What You Heard, I want you to be part of the crew. I want you to be part of the ship. I'm the captain of the ship, but I want you to be part of the ship. I want to hear from you guys. Whether you agree with me or you don't agree with me, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go. Because you know what? There's a lot of more football to be played. And I really believe that this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team will be in the playoffs this year, whether you like it or not. So I'll give this a few more minutes. Ali Marpet. Let's see here. Wirfs has been balling. David Villanueva. Hit me up, man. I see you in the chat all the time, man. Just go ahead and call in. 813-358-8154. I want to hear from you. Ali Marpet has been great at center and guard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a right guard, man. And when I say that, right guards are like gold. And again, that's one of those things. Let me see if I can get somebody else to call in. I have a great show lined up for you guys on Willie Graham. Willie Graham, if you want to call in, once again, that number is 813-358-8154. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, I'm checking my I always check Twitter. Twitter's my spot. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, Willie Graham, what's going on? Again, I'm trying to get somebody else to call in here real quick. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to get somebody to call in right now. Anybody know what the score of the Rays game is? I know this is a football show. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here we go. We got a caller. All right, you are live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
This is Anna. How are you, Gene?
Anna, my friend Anna, what's going on? How is everything?
Not much, man. Enjoying a Victory Wednesday. It's like the only time I'll ever get to say that.
There we go. All right. Anna will be joining me on Bucks Report on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Anna is going to help me break down film on the Green Bay Packers. We will be talking about the Green Bay Packers game, and we will talk a little bit about the Chicago Bears game, but great football IQ. As you know, with Buck What You Heard, I want to promote everybody that I can, and I think it's important, regardless, gender, race, creed, whatever. I think if you have a good take, I think that take needs to be brought up. And just working with her
that.
and working with you, and your new, you have a new network as of Monday.
Yes.
You guys are balling over there.
So yeah, we're it's a mad dash right now, man. But the SIA network, it's SIA, but we say SIA just because it's a fun way to sign out. It's the Say It Again network where you can really get your content for anything. Like, we of course cover football, and that's where I am, but we have people covering pop culture, board games, video games, everything you can think of under the sun. All the sports get covered. It's a really, really good place to go get. It's a good one-stop shop, if you will.
There you go. And guys, if you're interested in writing, if you have a show or whatever, I would reach out to Anna. Anna has been instrumental in motivating me to do more with what I'm doing. But for me, I think it's important because females in sports is a huge undertaking for me. I want to kind of stick with this because I believe that females in sports should be normalized. I think that there's it's a missing voice, and I think it's one of those things that we really need to continue to strive to where it is something that's normal, where you have somebody, and you're not talking about a female reporter or a female analyst. You're talking about an analyst, and that's where we want to get to.
Yep, I agree.
All right.
So I appreciate you, Gene. I appreciate you having me on. So have a great rest of your show. I'll be tuning in.
All right. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking with you on Friday.
Yep. Sounds good. Make sure you guys tune in for that one.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So it looks like I missed a call. If you called in just now and I missed you, hit me up. I would love to hear from you. I do want to get everybody on here. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Buck What You Heard. We will be doing this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And wait a minute, we got another call. Hold on. All right. Thank you for calling in. You're live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is Rob G, a long-time listener.
Rob G, what's going on, man?
Hey, I don't want to be too long, but I just wanted to say that Jamel Dean, he has so much potential to be a starter, but he just got to catch interceptions. 2 interceptions that I counted that he could have called. One he could have called and took it to the house, and the game was going to be over. But I mean, overall a good game, but I would say that we had a lot of missed opportunities, and that third quarter was just horrible.
Man, you are spot on. In my opinion, you are 100% spot on. There were so many opportunities, And I think the one that really annoys me the most is where the Bucs had the lead in the fourth quarter, and they only held the ball for 16 seconds. They did not make more out of the opportunity that they had, and that is a huge problem for me.
So would you say that Jamel Dean he has a future as a starter, or do you think he's just going to be more of a nickel?
I think he has a huge opportunity as a starter. I think a lot of it depends on your front line, your front seven. As long as they're getting pressure on the quarterback, I think that's going to give him an opportunity. What is Jamel Dean? What is this? His second year, right?
Yeah, it was two. It was one. I don't know if it's just his concentration or if he just have bad hands. I don't know which one it is, but I've seen a lot last season too that he got a lot of deflections, but he never got really interception.
Yeah, and I believe that he wasn't 100% healthy. I'm going to say this. Let's do this, because normally when you look at a draft pick, you give them 3 years, and that's where you get a determination of what you have. When you consider that COVID-19 took away a lot of the practices, a lot of the reps that a lot of these players had, a lot of the continuity that you would expect to see, I would put this maybe 2-3 games into the season before you really know what you have. And I would ask you, as a Bucs fan, let's revisit this in a couple of games and see what your thoughts are on him. I would love to have you call back in and see if your opinion of him has changed between now and then.
All right. Sounds good. We'll do. I don't want to hold you for too much longer. I'm just going to sit back and just listen to what everyone else has to say.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much for calling in. You are no longer a first-time caller. You are always welcome to call in here. I loved hearing from you.
All right. Yeah, have a good one, sir.
All right, you too. All right. So that was Rob G calling in here. Just giving his thoughts on the game, and he did have a question about Jamel Dean. It's going to be interesting to see what Jamel Dean does moving forward. As David Villanueva says, I think 35 needs more playing time. Again, I would say let's give it a couple more weeks, a couple more games, and let's see what this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team looks like. Now that they've got the 4 games that would be our preseason games out of the way, let's see what they do. I'm really curious to see, personally. I thoughts on Edwards getting more playing time. Again, if these guys are doing what they need to do in camp and they're putting themselves in a position to help this team win, guys, if you're listening to Buck What You Heard, you're listening to me, you got to understand this is about the playoffs. It's about the Bucs getting to the playoffs. This is about the Bucs doing something they haven't done in well over a decade, and that is getting to the playoffs. And we're talking about the postseason as opposed to talking about the draft. So to me, that is the most important thing. I don't care who starts. I don't care who's under center. But if this team wins and they continue to win and they continue to win and they continue to win, we are going to be in a great position come January. So again, it's just one of those things that we just got to keep an eye on and hope that everything works out. But I'm going to say this. I have really appreciated it because I've gone over an hour, by hour and 13 minutes, believe it or not. But guys, I really loved hearing from you. Next week, I want to hear from you guys more. If you're listening right now, I want you to understand next week, we're going to have the hot seat. I'm going to take one of the callers, one of my callers that calls in. I'm going to take your call. If you answer 10 questions in under a minute, you will be the guest co-host the following week. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be exciting. I want to have you guys as part of the show. You guys are part of this show, and that's the only way this show is successful is with you and not without you. So again, guys, thank you so much. Good hearing from you, and we out.